So you're born, you crawl out of your cell, and you start your life.
Your first job is to clean the other cells. You are a cleaner. You are also a warmer. So you keep the brood nest where the queen is laying her eggs, you keep that area warm.
If you're a male, you'll be a drone. If you're a female, you'll be a worker.
You now are in charge of the entrance. You also act a little bit as a guard. This is exciting. You are an adult bee. Then you finally get to leave the hive and go forage. You forage for 4 different things. You forage for nectar, which is what becomes honey. You forage for pollen, which is your protein source. You forage for water, and you forage for propolis. Propolis is like bee glue, and the bees make this from tree sap. So one of the first things that you encounter when you leave the hive is wind. Suddenly you've got gusts of wind, and honeybees have become very good at navigating this. Immediately when you leave the hive, you might encounter an animal. Birds might just come and pick you right out of the air. You might see a skunk right as you leave the hive. Skunks love to eat honeybees. Pesticides you might come across. The worst would be if the pesticide is being sprayed directly on you. So this could disorient you, it could kill you, it could confuse you enough so you don't find your way back to the hive.
Those pesticides, they bother us, they bother our immune system, they open us up to disease and mites and other problems.
Peril of the bee today is what it has been for centuries before. There's a terrible thing called a varroa mite, which has wreaked havoc on bee populations for ages now. Varroa mites, the pesticides that are affecting them, and just a lack of genetic diversity that makes them more susceptible to these diseases.
SweetBeez is a non-for-profit based on the education and conservation for honeybees, bringing in our own beehives to the Rochester community by putting them on rooftops here in the city and maintaining those city hives just to increase the bee population as much as we can.
And what we've quickly realized keeping bees in the city is that we can increase produce yields in community gardens simply by maintaining a honeybee hive in those gardens.
Informing the public and getting the public interested in honeybees, possibly starting a backyard beehive. So it's really easy to maintain a hive. You can be as hands-on or hands-off as you want. Some people think that there's nothing that they can do with the honeybees. When it comes to pesticides, a lot of people, they spray their lawns because they don't like seeing those dandelions. But when it comes to honeybees in the spring, they need those dandelions in order to survive. That's the very first thing that pops up. That's the very first thing that they're going to in order to get their nutrients to survive.
Especially in low-income neighborhoods where we are located, there is not pesticide usage. And this is a big advantage for the bees.
Volunteering with SweetBeez is there's a whole world to bees that people don't know, but there's a whole world to their ecosystem, a way of life that's intrinsically tied to ours. If bees go, then there's no almonds, no blueberries. There's a whole galaxy of plants that we'll lose just by losing bees. Constantly a series of challenges to their health, to their system, to their way of life that we are constantly trying to fight and keep them in good health. So it's a constant battle to keep these guys going, and it's a tough fight.